Good evening and welcome to episode 004 of the FWA Fallout recap pod. We are live from Christiana and I'm joined by a plethora of guests for the podcast tonight. I'm joined as usual by John. Good evening, John.
Yay.
By Man, who's returned after a sabbatical to go and find himself in the Far East. Welcome back, Man.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And also the notorious TIG, Tigman Freud himself. Tig is here tonight. Welcome, Tig.
Yo, what's happening?
It's good to have you on, Tig. It's good to have you on.
Cool. Good to be on.
Right, so episode 4 of Fallout, obviously the semi-finals of the old Eliminator taking centre stage. So when we did the live react to this on Discord, Raw was not happy that Chris Kennedy was appearing at the start of Fallout. Obviously, I think it's okay because I wrote it, but I'll throw that over. I'll throw that over to you guys. See what your opinion is on that.
I don't have a problem with it, to be honest. Raw likes complaining about everything, so I'm not too bothered by any criticism from him. I think it's a fun, different way to start the show. We've normally had these kind of big set piece kind of openings, so to have something a bit different, I think was good, and it obviously builds the Fallout side of things with everything that was going on in this show, but then also helps move it on the world title feud as well. So it's kind of a win-win for everyone, really.
When I say I wrote it, I mean I wrote the outline, and then Jiggy obviously filled in the Kennedy dialogue. Sorry, Kenny on the mind. I just finished all out. There you go.
Yeah, well, what it did do, I think, and I think I'm qualified to speak on this as, like, I don't mean like that, but just on one of the names mentioned, I think it got everyone hyped for any of the potential matchups, and I want to see all these matchups now anyway, regardless of the world title or who wins the Eliminator. It's just little snippets from MVH and CK. It just shows how strong they are and how strong their voices are. That just these little snippets on four guys that some of them they have connections with, some of them very little, and it gets you hyped for what's to come. And I think it was a good change up from the regular intro, which is cool, but I thought it was a good change up.
Yeah, I agree with what you said there. Like, I mean, with Summers, for instance, like I think this is the first time like I've ever written about Summers at all. Like, just never really crossed paths and that kind of thing. So it was fun to write about the 4 different characters.
Glad you got the neck tattoo in there as well.
Yeah. I don't know if that's canon or not, but I know that somebody mentioned it. I think maybe it was Gangstars or something. I can't
It's
remember.
not canon.
It's not canon.
It's not, it can't be.
It is now.
It is now, man. Like, there it is.
Oh shit, it's in black and white.
In the Paul, it's in grey and green right there. Like, can't argue with grey and green. Okay, then we've got the setting. Fallout is Christiana this week, the Freetown. Tried to pick for the first 5 venues that I'd been to, so like I could add some sort of sense when writing these kind of intros. But that's going to be harder when we get further away on the world tour. I've got the Crash guys back. It's always good to see the Crash guys.
Well, if they got like season tickets, are we shipping them all over?
I think they were special guests for the show.
Yeah, the first 2 times they just bought a ticket, but like they got themselves on telly twice. Part of the first chapter tour. So they were guests in Christiana, along with which may have flown under the radar because it's just a brief mention here. Noah Hansen's sighting at FWA show, obviously the CWA kind of GM figure, which will be elaborated on at South Pacific. And then we move on to this business, the opening with Devin Golden. What were our thoughts on this segment? John?
I like that Devin Golden. I like the difference between Devin Golden and Crash and Black being basically chill as fuck with the storyline. It wasn't that serious to them. Devin Golden being pissed off as hell is kind of different to him being pretty chill in his promos lately. I got hyped for the tag team feud. I think it's the most exciting storyline going on next to Sean Summers and Mike Park. So segment did it for me.
Okay. Always hating on the world title feud, aren't we, John? That's
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Fair
He
enough.
hated the opening.
Fair enough. Okay.
Oh, I love the opening. Loved it.
Tig, your old rivals, obviously, Golden Rock here. What do you make of the tag feud following the massively successful TXR feud? Have we lost Tig? Right, man. Same question to you then. If
Well, I
Monastic,
think
maybe.
I think that it was a good feud.
that is not good at all. Okay, sorry, man. Come on, this is going to get edited out for casual
Oh right, no,
casual
I think
racism. There.
it's fine. You've seen the things he says about my missus. I can say what the fuck I want about him. So I liked it. I think I'm really enjoying Devin Golden at the moment. A lot of what he's doing is someone that's newer to the Fed the most, seeing what I thought the Devin Golden character was from my first few months. It's kind of what he's changing into, and from what I can tell, this is a kind of a character he's been before, if that makes sense. He's found a way to almost revert back into it, and I just like kind of dynamic here where all this arguing's going on, and Ramon hasn't said a word because he just kind of wants to get on with his match. And so I'm hoping that kind of dynamic is played on a bit in the last couple of shows, just to, as Ramon has had these two priorities at the moment, but Golden's just had the tag team to worry about, and whether he's, just saying that he's trying to support Ramon as like a secondary objective or not, or if he's just in a way looking for something to do, if that makes sense.
That was the worst impression in the world, man.
I'm glad you heard it.
I was I muted myself and I was just freaking out during the whole impression. I was like, why are they ignoring me? Why is this continuing on? But I agree with your thoughts on Golden and Ramon for the most part. It gave the last week has given the field a real shot in the arm. I think obviously all the pieces are there, but with Ramon doing the eliminator stuff and shit like that, it's kind of hard thing to get the balance right, but it's been juggled well. And I thought just the Summers interaction with Gangsters was working out as well at the end, and I thought that was like a nice touch. But and also obviously like the Black and Crash chemistry it's just off the charts. I think they flow really well with each other, even though like Devin had like the zingers and the everything personal line of that whole revelation. I thought like some of Black and Crash's kind of laid back nonplussed approach to things was really good. Yeah,
I think we definitely needed this as well. We didn't have any Gangstars last week on Fallout 003. So back in a big way this week with quite a lot of presence on the show, which I think was definitely needed. And then we move on to Ramon and Summers in the first of the semi-finals in the Eliminator tournament, TGO's match. We've got, I think about 50% of the match, probably about 40% of the match actually comes before the 4-minute warning, and then the last 60%, well, maybe I'm over-exaggerating there, but like almost half the match comes after the 4-minute warning, which I think is the same in the Khonshu match as well. Sorry, the Toner match, I should say. Thoughts on these promos? Who did we have winning and why? We'll go to Man first.
I had Ramon winning, but it was close. I think Summers, it was a case, I think he really brought it in the quarterfinals one, and I think he did go for a bit more of the character approach this time around, and I think when you do that kind of thing, you run the risk, of falling down a bit in other categories, and I think that's what dinged him a bit here. And Ramones as well, I thought was great, and the way I know Sean's really into his Game of Thrones, so you would have known the subject matter well and known how to make it fit into this universe well. I think it was good. It's definitely a case of him trying to show that it's him on his own and not him needing the support of all these others, because he was the one in the promo that got it done when you had, Golden and Pigford fucking it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm liking the direction for both, but I think Ramon had it for me. It wasn't he didn't run away with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. John?
I also gave it to Ramon. I like the Sean Summers RP. I love the scene with Rupert. I thought it was gonna make Rupert look kind of cowardly, but the way he ended it with Rupert kind of dressing him down, I thought was some really good writing, some really good character building for Sean Summers. But then again, I also felt like the first half of that promo was mostly Mike Park focused and not so much Sean Summers Eliminator focused. Second scene of that was a lot more Randy Raymond tournament focused. We got one half of the division back, which was good, and hints at possibly something going on with the other half, depending on DWA results. Raymond, I think you guys mentioned it. It was cool to see him kind of separating himself from Golden a bit more clearly. Obviously, the whole Game of Thrones medieval fantasy setup was a fun story, start to finish, and it's all building up towards Sean Summers versus Randy Raymond. So I felt like the match focus was a bit higher up on that end.
Yeah.
I think I had Raymond decently over, but that's because I really like that promo. Sean Summers would have graded pretty well for me.
Yeah, I agree with what you said about the Rupert scene maybe being the highlight of the Summers promo, but not perhaps having as much focus on the match that it should have done. But I did have Summers barely winning, just to add a contrast to that. Tig, where did you fall on this one?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like with no nothing against the Summers promo, I slightly had Ramon as well in my grades. I won't go too much on about the Summers promo because it was really well written and it was great. Like, I graded it highly. I think John hit on most of my problems, which, like I'm saying, problems in a very reluctant way. I thought it was a good promo. I just think there's kind of been a tendency in a lot of promos to kind of say, like, right, okay, we'll flesh out this part, we'll tell the story I want to tell, get the shit about my character I want to get over across, my like overall arc and story, and then at the end kind of be like, oh shit, yeah, I have to talk about my opponent for next week too. Like, I don't mean to say that Cum Kid was like, it was an afterthought and he was saying, okay, right, opponent focus, have to like just jam it in because it was well written. But this kind of whole setup of it just coming at the end does make it feel like an afterthought, and that's like across promos where just it can be hidden in setups, but like this kind of like maybe 3-act or 2-act structure where the opponent focus comes as an after. It just does end up feeling like an afterthought, and that would be why. That would have been like that's really the only difference in quality for me between the Summers promo and the Ramon promo. Because, like I said, there's a lot to like about the Summers promo. The character works brilliant, the descriptive writing's brilliant, it looks good, and Ramon's obviously matches it in all them departments. Like, it looks great. The creativity is brilliant in the Ramon promo, and like I said, it's really only. I just think Ramon's kind of focused on the match at hand, maybe not even the match or so much the situation at hand a little bit more directly than Summers did. But I thought they were two great promos. But yeah, Ramon by a hair for me. Thought it was the right result.
Okay. Right, so we've got 3-1 to the Rockstar in that one around the table. Then we have Danny Toner and Conchu arriving at the same time in split screen, which again thoroughly confused Raw when he read it. Well, when he skimmed it, I guess I should say. And then we have the Undisputed Alliance arriving separately, and Caden Knox with Nate Savage. Yeah, the world's shortest alliance, I think somebody said. That's about half a show, but there you are. Before we go on to Mike Parr, narrowly scraping past Derek Hunter. Any thoughts on the Parr promo? John, did you have a chance to read the Parr promo?
That's actually the only promo I did not get a chance to.
Oh, he's not going to be happy with that, John.
No, he's getting a review after this now.
He's going to be making passive-aggressive remarks about that for weeks. I did the same to him once. Yeah, he still mentions it. Man, then, I know that you read it because you graded it, or at least I hope you read it.
I liked it. I think it, in a way, it falls into kind of a bit of what Tig was just saying, that the whole Derek Hunter thing, even though it's only a jobber character, kind of just thrown in right at the end, a few lines. But I think the Parr's whole thing at the moment is the whole story with Summers. And I think everything he addressed in his promo directed at Summers was good. In a way, he could have gone on a show, if that makes sense, the way it was written. And it's a story that I'm really glad that we're doing. I'm really enjoying what they're both doing.
Yeah, this segment was definitely a highlight of the show, for sure. And with a bit of violence, and now we're there from Sean Summers, he says. Tig, what are you thinking of this feud at the moment?
Yeah, it's for me, it's been the best feud on the Fallout side since BIB, since the brand split. I know that might come across as harsh with the Peacock and Uncle stuff, but that was kind of spread out. That was kind of spread over. Like that had its beginnings before back in business.
Yeah.
I think from a pure like original Fallout story, like this is the story of the first chapter for me so far. And I think both guys are bringing in segs and in promos when they are. I also read the Parr promo. I thought it was pretty good. I think he does the simple things really effective, like the clink of the pipe, just like it keeps drawing your attention back. Well, I don't know if other people read like that, but it does for me anyway. And I kept drawing my attention back to what he was saying. I thought like the general message was good and had like heart and meaning about watching Summers take his spot and fighting Nova, beating Nova. That should have been him in the quarterfinals. And I think there's a case to be made to say that Mike Parr is like probably the character of the FWA for the last like 2 years. Because like I think if you look back in 2020 and you see like Crash was character of the year, Parr was his dance partner for a lot of that, and you look back at them promos and think about all the character work that was done, the turns that was done in the alignment, then the MVH stuff, the build back in business, and now he's doing this summer stuff. Like he's constantly involved in big feuds, talking points, and I think there is a case to be made for like his promo work and his character work being amongst the best in the Fed. And also, I think it's cool that he's gone back to Tokyo as a a different kind of role as he was when he was gone last year to face Crash. Yeah. When they had that, the two of them went to Tokyo, I think, didn't they? They got sent over.
Yeah, Japanese deathmatch, I think, at last year's Back in Business, I think.
So
I might be mistaken there, but yeah, there's definitely Japanese deathmatch at a pay-per-view. Might not be Back in Business, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool to see like kind of Parr coming back to Japan in a different sort of role with presumably a lot of fan support behind him, and
yeah,
I think it's pretty cool arc.
Hopefully, it won't involve any piranhas or other poor defensive animals in his matches this year, but we'll see. He's a pesky little guy, that Mike Parr. And then we're on to Tokyo Shipyard with Yuna making Salvador Mendoza walk the plank, and then preparing to meet Black Widow ahead of the Lost Treasures tour. Sign up thread for which is somewhere. And then the Gauntlet Championship, El Demente and Cornelius Aurelius Caesar. I think El Demente was the unanimous winner across the grades here. I think a more fleshed out promo than Caesar's, which was fun. I liked how he contrasted kind of the scenes and history of ancient Rome with what's going on in his life now. It was quite clever the way he did that. But in terms of character development, character portrayal, I think El Demente had this one. Anything to add? John?
I've also got it for El Demente. I don't think it was necessarily the best El Demente promo so far,
Mm-hmm.
but I think in terms of just, I think getting dialogue out there, El Demente is a bit more direct. He's got a bit more of a focused character direction. I enjoy the Caesar character, but yeah, I'd give it to El Demente as well.
Okay. Tig, have you had a chance to read these ones?
Yeah, of course. I read everything that Oz writes, so I had to read this by extension, really. I did have AD myself, to be honest. This kind of stuff's hard. I done it briefly myself, and it's tough to convey a message in 1,000 words and like have a direct focus on the opponent while trying to advance your character and your own stories. I don't really see how a Gauntlet promo could ever really grade above like 30, 31 just by their very nature, because you have to be dropping points in some categories. It's not possible to do, in my opinion, anyway. So I don't think like people should, like, especially Gauntlet champions, when they're defending week to week, when people say things like, I don't think it's as strong as this previous promo, like that's gonna happen. Like, it's 1,000 words, you have a lot to play around with. I think El Demente looks like he could be good, could be a good pick for the Fed. Is it just, this is showing me ignorance now, is this shit legit? Like, if Caesar or Stu Grimes win or grade higher, do they become the champion?
Yeah.
So are they like Fallout roster members?
Well, Stu Grimes sort of, for the time being. Like, I don't have a character on Fallout. Caesar's kind of just, I wouldn't say he's a full-time roster member, but initially when we brought him into the tag match, it was really to avoid a jobber match, so that there was a promo for Source and El Demente to go up against. And then it just kind of fit the story, and Oz was up for a challenge at this. So Caesar not so much, but Stu will be for a while, in at least a part-time kind of sense. But yeah, if they grade higher, then they'll win the Gauntlet title, sure.
And obviously Stu is up next.
Yeah, in a last man standing match. So yeah, I think I'll delve into the origin story of Stu, I think, a bit more in 1,000 words, but I probably won't win. I hate the 1,000 word format. I'm terrible at it. But see.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
No. And then on to Danny and Conchu again. I think Conchu standing tall at the end of this segment. So Tig, I think you wrote this one.
Yeah, it was just kind of trying to put one of those like running threads through the show that Fallout's kind of becoming known for, and kind of having a bit of fun with the setting. I'm kind of writing for my own amusement down these segments most of the time. Like, just I was looking up what the story is with Wade in Freetown, and apparently he's got a long history with Hash, so that's what that little bit was about. And yeah, I just thought it might be a cool little thread to have Conchu and Danny like bout arrive and be like, right, fuck this, I'm getting him before he gets me. And yeah, just build a little bit of hype for the main event. It wasn't meant to be anything other than a bit of fun, really.
No, yeah, it was perfect. It worked well as the story through the night, for sure. And then on to Uncle. Don't think I read this. Did I not read this?
Read it now.
Oh, I can't read it now.
Why not? John Roleplay.
I can't actually read it. I have to get people to read it for me.
That's reassuring when you were supposed to proofread the show before you posted it.
Come on, man. I'm not proofreading all of it. Like, that's mad. Like John's responsible for his own shit. Like, surely, you know. Like some people's I'll proof, some people's I'll just say, all right, I'm going to put that in. That'll be fine. But we'll just scroll down. Unless anyone else has something to say about this. John, what were your thoughts on the segment that you wrote? I'm sure that you read it.
I'm just waiting for Randy Raymond and Golden Rock to get what's coming to them. That's all what this segment is about.
Okay, good segment. Great addition to the show. Your output is valued. Right, then we got the Kangaskars and the Brethren. The Brethren unfortunately no longer with us. So the Gangsters picked up a no-show win here, but it was a good promo from the Gangsters. The Gartic idea. I said in my review, I thought it was maybe a bit muddled at the start, a bit difficult to follow exactly kind of who they were playing with and what the set was. But as soon as it settled, I thought it was a very funny promo. Obviously, not a competitive match. John, what were your thoughts on the Gangsters promo?
I didn't feel like the ending was as muddied as you did. I was for who they were playing against. I don't know if that necessarily mattered. I guess, I don't know, Take My Hand and McLean would logically be Jimmy and you, but I doubt it was that thought through. But the Gartic promo itself, obviously very creative, and I don't know how effective it would have been against tag team that would have showed. But I thought it was pretty one of the fun promos this week. And like Tick said earlier, the chemistry between Crash and Black is next level. I love that Black behaves differently next to Crash, a lot more childishly, I'd say. It's a nice contrast to basically every other time Crash is on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely fun promo. Can't wait to see more Gangstars. Sad they're separated next week.
Yeah, but then obviously back together for the pay-per-view. And then a brawl segment after the match. Man, did you read the? Of course, you read the Gangsters promo. I think you graded it, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts there?
I mean, as one of the regular Gartic players, I very much appreciated it. It was really fun. I think I wouldn't say I had the same issues as you following what was happening initially. I think it was quite clear. I can't put my finger on exactly who they were trying to be, even if they were trying to be any of us in the chat. But I think it was clear they were, as if like we do, they were jumping on a fan Discord and just going undercover.
Maybe I was just really baked. It was the last one I read because obviously it was a no-show. So maybe I was not in the right mind. Maybe I have to reread the start of it. But there you go. Sorry to interrupt.
But I thought it was really fun. I think the chemistry between them is really good, and I'm not sure I would say they wouldn't score as well against the more established team. I think in fact they could have done even better because they'd have probably had more material to
You're not wrong, yeah,
to work with. So I think, say if their opponents were like UA, or say they did this for Golden Rock, I think they'd have probably gone even bigger, and I think they could have scored even higher. Because I mean, I've got the grades in front of me. It was a very good scoring promo, regardless of going up against an unestablished team. It was one of the higher ones of the night, actually.
And then we're into the. Sorry, Tig, I didn't come to you there about the Gangsters. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, no, it was cool promo. I liked it. It was fun. May as well do something like that. I disagree with you slightly. I don't know how much I would have liked it if it was to be that Golden Rock promo. I think a lot of even though I play Gartic, I sometimes think like that stuff can be kind of too boxed in. Now, obviously, you're gonna read it, and if you're grading, you're meant to be like not biased about this stuff, but I could see it getting an eye roll, or maybe someone who's not that tuned into shit kind of saying like, oh, okay, I don't really get it. Plus, I read it initially on my phone, and the images didn't work properly, so yeah, not that you'd be grading on your phone or anything like that. But yeah, but like they're good. Of course, they're good enough to make it work. I'm sure the content would have been a little bit heavier, but I thought it was a really fun promo. I don't think I would have liked to see it in, like, say, in a lights out situation.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. And then on to the X Division Championship with Uncle Caden, Nate Savage, and Cleo De Santos in this fatal four-way. I think Jay a clear winner and Caden a clear second. and I think actually Nate a clear third in this. Quite spaced out promos actually across the 4 in terms of the grades. The J promo was bonkers. Yeah, very fun promo to read. Yeah, I liked the Caden one a lot. I think it was let down a bit by the presentation. Well, not so much let down, but I think presentation was probably the weakest area. But definite improvements there. I think I gave it a 2.5 in presentation this week, or maybe a 3. But that's giving up, 1.5 to Jay every time. So that's something that we'll have to look at, I guess, next week. But the Caden promo was really atmospheric, really well written. Felt like the visuals in it, even though obviously it was just text, but the visuals felt really well realised, the kind of noir style that he was going for. But yeah, I thought those were the 2 standout promos, and that's why they're going against each other again next week. Tig, any thoughts on these 4?
Yeah, no, I think you have it right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jay, Knox, Nate, KDS. The KDS promo, I don't think was intended to be a promo to win or particularly score highly. So that's fair enough. That's cool. You take that route sometimes. Nate's stuff wasn't bad with the couples therapy. It was fine.
Yeah.
It maybe felt like a little step down from what I was expecting due to what I have perceived the quality of the TUA tag promos to be recently, but it was still fine. I'd have had Knox a second without a clear second, but without actually really troubling Uncle in my grades. Like you said, even though it is vastly improved, the presentation gap it's a killer for some people, and I mean it's been minimised down to 5 points. It has to stay, it has to remain. It has such an effect on the quality of read promos, and there's nothing that can be done at this stage for people that are struggling with that except just continuing to work on it. It's something I struggle on myself. I'd say I routinely score like maybe 3.5 on presentation. I don't proof enough, and I kind of type as I think, which I think OMB does as well. So I think it's like flogging a dead horse saying this, but just like read, proofread, get somebody else to read if you want, man. Nobody's gonna like, sure, we all kind of do stuff like that, and whereas like, does MVH sound okay here, SS and White Donor promo, shit like that. So I don't think there'd be any issue with getting somebody to proof your promo or anything like that, or have a look over it.
As long as it was like talking through the promo with them rather than just send the promo, make all the corrections.
Oh, of course. No, it's not like here's my promo and you code for me, but just like does this paragraph read okay? Does this flow correctly? I don't think there's any issue with that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're a writing community, so I don't really see a big issue with that. But yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for Knox, but I don't think he should put all his eggs in the basket. If I have to win this X Championship now, like this isn't going to be his last chance at championships and fall out at all. Like, and like yourself, man, it can feel like that sometimes. When if I lose this, will I get another chance? But it comes back around. OMB is doing good work and everyone sees it. So like, it's not like he's going to get depushed or anything like that. He's going to have good things happening for him. Mm. And no, looking past Knox as a challenger for Uncle, but I'd like to know who Uncle wants as his next X challenger if he was to get through Knox, because I think that's a fairly open position waiting to be filled, like for his next big feud as such.
There is something planned.
Yeah, there's something in the works, but we'll keep quiet for the moment.
Yeah, there's a defense
planned. Yeah,
it's on 007, which we're actually working towards now. Started doing so on this show with a couple of comments that some characters make, but we won't. We won't go into it too much.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah. But that's obviously dependent on next week's results as well.
Mm.
And then we have Lights Out video package to promote the upcoming pay-per-view with a provisional card. Obviously, a load of matches to be added to this yet. And then we are into Conchu and Tona again. Another kerfuffle in the back.
Which was you, by the way, SS, that finished off the segments for me. So appreciate that. I thought you got the characters pretty spot on.
I'm just gonna say though, SS absolutely workhorse this. I think just due to work and a few other bits going on, I didn't do a lot on this show at all, and SS did probably about 3/4 of it.
It's gonna happen.
Shout out, mate.
It was a fun day. I struggled to write for Conchu, and I struggled to write even in matches and stuff for Cyrus as well. Not like the moveset. The movesets are both fun to write for, but just the character and the tone of it. It's very unique and singular. Like both of them, quite difficult to write for. Not to say Toner isn't individual and unique, but
he's handy enough to write for.
I guess I get more of a feel for him, whereas Conchu is such a specific kind of dude,
Just don't pronounce your J's and throw in a fucking and you're there.
Easy. And then we have Rondo against Peacock. I'm going to go to you, Tig, first on this for promos. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, two good promos, two very different promos. In terms of what grading criteria they were hitting, not that I believe either of the lads were writing in such a manner to try and fulfill grading criteria. I just think they ended up hitting different grading criteria. Obviously, Peacock's promo is, I'd have it on terms of creativity, story, general theme, the whole. It's part 3, I think, of I don't know how many parts is planned. It's ongoing, of the time trial sort of stuff, and I thought it was really well written. I think somebody else said, I can't remember, it might have been John in the promo thread, that Peacock's character writing and SS was praising his descriptive writing. Is that right? Yeah. And you compared it to that of Conchu's as the top 2 on the Fallout side of things, and I'd agree with that. And I'd also, myself personally, have Peacock's general character portrayal and development nearly week to week as probably the strongest on the Fallout side too. Where I think the Peacock promo fell down for me slightly was, and me and you discussed this, SS, was down to my interpretation of how the quality of content score is done. Out of the 15, I've always graded it with there's, if you look at it at the grading scale, there's 5 parameters within quality of content, and I've always graded them out of 3 to get your overall score, and match focus and selling, focus on the opponent. They were scoring low for me. So my Peacock, even though the quality of content was great, my Peacock's quality of content score was only 10.5 or something like that. So obviously that's low because you're dropping 4.5 points, but SS has a different way of looking at the system, which made me rethink the way I've been looking at it. But on the way I had done the grading system, I had got Rondo slightly on it because he lit up that section for me, while I think not being an overly creative promo in the scope of these fantasy promos or the Inception promos or things like that, it stood out because of what it was. So it didn't get dinged creatively for me. I think his presentation could have done with a bit of work. I think it still kind of has the 2017-16 sort of feel to the presentation, whereas I think it's gotten a bit cleaner and sharper now. And when you held it in contrast, the Peacock's promo kind of popped a little bit more. That's Peacock's promo, I mean. And also, I don't think he gave it a proofread. So, yeah, I can, especially after the quality of content conversation, I can see why Peacock would be scored to win in this, but I'd probably have this as my closest match on the card. That includes the two, well, obviously I don't grade my own match, but that includes the Summers and Ramon opener as well.
Yeah, I think with the quality of content, it's not to say the way that, because I know that TGO does something similar. I think he has 3 categories with 5 points, or maybe it is 5 with 3. I can't remember. But yeah, it's just how you feel that category should be divided up. I guess like I feel like, you know, there are like different facets of that category, but if you're very strong in one of them, that can negate weaknesses in the other. And it's not necessarily equal weighting for all 5 of them every week. Like different promos will have different focuses and that kind of thing. So I guess the theme and the general story, the development of price, like those things, made up in part for the lack of match focus. I think quality of content, I think I had Peacock by 0.5 ahead of Rondo, I think. And I think 1 overall ahead on the scores. So yeah, this is a very tight match as well. It could have gone either way. And I think Crash had it in favour of Rondo. It was 2-1 on the grades. John, what did you think of these two?
I'll say that I do subscribe to the TIG grading scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed those Golden Up promos and promo reviews. And ever since then, I've kind of, when I've popped up to grade, I've used that sort of grading scheme myself. I'd say kind of the same for me. Chris Peacock's match selling isn't as high up there, but you're at the third part of a pretty interesting story with regards to Alan Price being CIA. Obviously, Chris Peacock gets a chance to go back in time and reverse all his misfortunes and rejects it. Love the ending with the, I guess, worst timeline Chris Peacock popping up.
Oh shit!
And
Yeah.
Rondo's, yeah. I'm excited to see what goes on with that next. I don't know if that will affect anything on screen. It's kind of weird to think about. The Rondo promo was obviously completely different. I loved it because it was all the points he hit really worked at this time. While I don't necessarily want Rondo restricting himself from more adventurous promos, it definitely works. What he's saying can be true, even if I do find the aliens and magicians a bit more entertaining than more straightforward characters. I love the setup. Reminded me a lot of like Moxley Kingston type promo you might see on AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who I would have had it. I'm glad I didn't have to grade it. They're 2 good promos. I was surprised at how short the match was, though.
That was me. That was a me thing. I think this was written on my phone on the train. So on Thursday, so I need to get it done.
But did the match time change?
Yeah. I made a quick edit there. I didn't see
Yeah.
the match edit when I put it, the match time when I put it in.
Okay.
I think it was 9:32.
Yeah, you added some time on. That's why it's short.
Because like as was pointed out, like Peacock's beating like Grand Slam champion, future Hall of Famer Ryan Rondo in 9 minutes. So like, yeah, I've put 4 minutes on there. We'll negate that, but there you are. I probably should have added a couple of paragraphs, but I was didn't want to mess with man's.
It's gonna beat him again at Lights Out.
Okay. Apparently so. Well, apparently that
If he shows up, we might have to make a little substitution there, but
okay.
I half ran it by SS. Yeah.
Okay. And then we have Jean-Luc banishing Price from the commentary booth for the main event.
Oh, great move, by the way. Great move. No. Seriously. Because that allowed the Jean-Luc one-man commentary for the end of the show, and I actually thought it really stood out in comparison to, you know, they're using these big matches. There's 3 or maybe 4 guys on the bill. It just felt like the main event's going to happen. These 2 guys are going to fight, and the best caller we have in the company is just going to fucking call it, and that's it. And I thought that was a really good move. That was obviously logistical, but I think Jean-Luc as a one-man bill might actually be my preference over any of the combinations.
You might enjoy Fallout 005 then, because both Quinn and Price, I think, are otherwise indisposed. So Jean-Luc is going to be Joey Styles in the show in Berlin.
It puts folks on the wrestling as well in the match write-ups.
Yeah, it was quite
Mm.
fun to do the commentary as well, actually, because usually commentary is a bit of a burden, like in match writing, but because it was one dude, it was different. Like it was, yeah, it's fun to try and write that, like, as opposed to shoehorning commentary in. And then on to our main event of the evening, a little to do in gorilla position, and then we're on to the main event. Danny turning down a joint from one of the front row fans on his way to the ring.
Ooh.
And then, yeah, Conchu and Danny. I had Conchu in this, as you know, by I think maybe 1.5. I think I had Conchu in this. So close, not as close as the other semi-final. Both good promos. I think might have had
You only had it by 0.5 actually, mate.
0.5. What the fuck do I know? I thought I had this one wider than that. Okay, 0.5. I think I had. Did I have Toner higher than Summers and Ramon, or same as Summers and higher than Ramon, perhaps? Or
Just check it.
something
Oh
else?
no, I think you had him.
Yeah, but anyway,
You had him higher. You had him higher than both.
yeah. So I thought both were quality promos, but I thought Conchi was the best this week. I think I had him as the best in rounds 2 and 3. The second best in round 1 after Jay's promo, which lost. So yeah, so Conchu's really gone from strength to strength in this PPV cycle. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes after this. John, what did you think of these two main event promos?
Conchu, like you said, I think up there with who was it that had it? Right, man with the storylines. Conchu Hao's storyline has been pretty good, although his has felt a bit more specifically directed towards the on-screen stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I wouldn't really say that because Man's is also affected by on-screen results. But Conchu Hao's story has been really fun to see. The deterioration of his relationship with Epsilon, even though it isn't as apparent on screen, has been great. Epsilon's a character you kind of feel bad for, you want to root for anyways. He's an easy mascot to enjoy. Conchu Hao kind of unraveling week to week, getting us our biggest amount of on-screen deaths since the fantasy RPs have started. I thought the whole charlatan bit was pretty excellent.
Yeah.
I know you criticized the part where he kind of like explains it, but I think it made sense within the context of Conchu kind of having a superiority complex and thinking less of a lot of other people.
Yeah. See your point there. Yeah, I do see your point.
Danny Toner's promo, I thought contrasted it with it well because, you know, he's kind of exposed again for being a fraud when he sort of hints at not being it. There's a lot of foreshadowing throughout the promo that there's more than what's going on the surface. If I had any issue with the promo, and it's not really an issue, is that I probably would have wanted more Danny Toner. There's a lot of side characters in this one. A lot of Michelle focus compared to the trial promo, which was basically all Danny Toner with a bit of Ryan Rondo. But even then, I don't think there's that much of a gap in these two promos. And unless I was looking at the grading scheme directly, I wouldn't be able to tell which of the promos I prefer winning. They're both pretty good. I think I preferred the story. Like the story of the Toner promo went on from start to finish, whereas the Conchu Hao promo, I thought the best part was definitely the charlatan story, as great as the monologue ended up being. I thought there was more interest in how the Toner promo unraveled.
Yep. Man, you went with Toner on this one.
I did, yeah, but again, it was another close one. I think these two, were my top 2 scoring of the night. So, you know, which again says how good they both were. I think I agree with a lot of what John said. I think the story overall in Toners and kind of staying for, you know, 90% of the promo, staying within that story, I think is what helped sell the story more. rather than going from into the video that we had with Conchu and then coming out and then having Conchu do his monologue. But that's not to say I didn't enjoy the Conchu promo, because I really did, and I'm really excited to see what's happening next with him, because it's definitely proven that, you know, Cyrus now has two characters who are more than capable of challenging for the world title. So yeah, it's a good thing, and I'm really enjoying the Epsilon stuff too. And like John said, it's a very easy character to root for, and it's very fun to write for as well when you get a chance to write for him.
Yeah. Tig, who did you have as the winner in this one?
I'd Conchu.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you did.
I'd Conchu, yeah. I had, yeah, have to be honest, and I did. I had Conchu over me. Obviously, it doesn't hold as much weight as me saying, like, I had Ramon over Summers, bang, here's my grades.
Yeah.
Because I just find it impossible to grade a promo of my own. Using the category, and I'd find it really, really hard to grade.
It's easy. You just you look at what the category's out of, and you give yourself that. That's how you grade your own promo.
But I even harder maybe to find it to grade an opponent's promo about me, because I'm going to be like the most skeptical person reading a promo about me. No, that's not true. That's not true. Well, that doesn't make sense, because I'm going to think, no, that's not true about my character. Like, but yeah, I didn't read the promo in full until I posted my promo. Oh no, that's actually no, sorry, that's a lie. I'm after lying. It was the first promo in this tournament that I've read before I posted my. It's the first promo I've read since before I posted my promo. Maybe this year. Every other promo I've done, I haven't read my opponent's promo, as not as a rule, but just because I think it can lead to getting into your head maybe when you're considering what you're going to do yourself. And I read Conchu's promo, and I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I knew it was going to be great because it's Cyrus and it's Conchu, but I thought the story of the Sheraton was great. I thought he's attacked Toner in a way that I don't know why I don't see. Been looking at promos against Toner, there's like maybe a reluctance to really, really go for Toner's jugular and say like, all this fuck is just try and back it up. And I think Conchu done that really well. It was the expression before that, like, you can kind of, when you, not that you feel a bit of sting around like that, but when you come away from a promo and go, oh shit, right, okay, he got me there, like, like, haven't really got much to say about this. I think you've really done a good job. I think his characterization is brilliant, and I had a few problems with my own promo personally. I had no proofread whatsoever. Some of the sections were lifted nearly directly from my plan into the promo, which is something I rarely do. But I was just running out of time. It didn't have the same. I felt it didn't have the same kind of zing and zap that some of my sentences usually do. Especially outside of the Toner parts, I did make an effort to keep him Toner as possible. But I felt that myself. And Cyrus is a stand-up guy. He had like no problem at all with the result. Congratulated me. We talked in private, but I'm not just saying this in hindsight. I think I said it. I may have said it before the results were posted to USS, or maybe John, I don't know. But I made clear that I thought Conchu might have had this one, and I was delighted to see the result. But yeah, Conchu's promo was, did you say SS round 2, round 3 promo? I think I probably agree with that.
Yeah,
I probably agree with that.
Yeah, well, I think he's round 3 for sure, and he's round 1 for sure. I had as the best of the rounds. No, sorry, round 1 I had Jade slightly ahead, but
what promo was the trial promo for Danny Toner?
Was
round
the
2.
Round 2. Yeah,
Round
sorry.
2?
Okay, so yeah, that was the promo of that round for sure. So yeah, I got Jay, Toner, Conchu as my promos of the round so far.
But Conchu could, in my opinion, now, and obviously we had this eliminator and stuff, and it's impossible to tell what happened on the second chapter, which I think 6 to 10 is the second chapter, isn't it?
Six to nine, I think. Yeah.
6 to 9. Yeah, I mean, like obviously anything can happen, but that's when the world championship will actually like be properly on Fallout's brand, if I'm right. Is that like that's
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
we
there?
have the next. You know what the next pay-per-view is after Lights Out? You know what we're leading up to?
Yeah, so like I mean, in my mind, Conchu or Jesus, we're right, Sean Summers, but Conchu especially, he could challenge for the world championship at
Yeah.
that PPV, and I wouldn't think it takes too many jumps or twists in logic, or I don't think anyone would bat an eyelid.
Well, that next pay-per-view is Mile High, and you know what that means.
Oh, for fuck's sake! MHM, the greatest match of the year.
It's
We
pretty
s-
fun. It's pretty fun.
That will be good.
Yeah, there'll be one major thing announcement about that in the next.
Is it going to be a mix of guys?
Oh, this is what will be announced. I think.
Okay.
I think at the pay-per-view. Well, not that specifically, but whether it will or won't be.
Yeah, it's in the work. It's in the works. We'll put it that way.
Fuck it, I'll tell you now. It's gonna be Fallout only because it's our turn next month anyway, so you should be able to work that out. But yeah, all Fallout Mile High Massacre. You heard it here first. Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Scoop.
Sorry, Meltdown.
Yeah, fuck you, Melt. No, what are you apologising to those Meltdown scum for?
Oh,
Fuck
that was
fuck Meltdown. Fuck Meltdown.
SS. That was dripping in sarcasm. I am not sorry at all.
All right, okay.
You're both
quick-
members of Meltdown.
Sort of. Yeah, I'm just a Trojan horse. I'm taking it down from the inside, John.
Joe Burr's just infiltrator.
Yeah. Right. On to a preview of next week and predictions. Nova versus Peacock. I'm going to take Peacock in this one, I think. I usually back against Peacock, but I'm going to go Peacock. I think Nova's going to be thinking about other things, about his cash in, about his promo there. And I think that might give Peacock a chance to sneak in and take the win in this match. John?
I think it's not a title match. Peacock wins.
Tig?
Nova's not focusing on his cash in because he's not cashing in till BIB. So I'm going to take Nova on this one.
Oh, Nova's cashing in this week, he told me. He's cashing in this week.
Oh, did he? Oh no.
Man, I know you're in this match. I guess you're going to pick yourself, right, man?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that actually. That's a nice bit of confidence you don't usually hear on people on the pods. Yeah, I'm going to back myself. Yeah, fuck it, I will be. No,
fuck like I owe him
Peacock,
one.
Peacock.
Yeah. I owe him one. I'll fucking give him it.
Khonshu and Parr.
Pump for this match, man.
This is tough to pick. I'll let you guys go first, and then I'll pick the one that has the least picks. Right, John, who are you going for?
I got Khonshu. He's a hard guy to promo against, and he's insane at promo against anyone.
Yeah, I think I'll go Khonshu as well. I've been talking him up, and Parr's had a bit of a break recently, so maybe he'll be working off a bit of rust. Khonshu's a very tough opponent. But I don't know, actually, his promo this week didn't show that. Like, he was obviously a bit late with the stuff that was going on with the new breed the day before. But yeah, definitely showed signs of the old Mike Parr. So yeah, it'll be a close match, but I'm going to go Khonshu to edge this one. Tig?
Yeah, I think I have to back Khonshu. I think Parr and Khonshu are probably the two guys I wanted to hype the most coming on to this, which makes this match pretty crazy actually to be running here. But yeah, like John said it best, Khonshu's very, very hard to promo against. Yeah, because it's such a unique character and a successful character so far. There's not a lot there to kind of really say about Khonshu, whereas Parr has this like whole fucking history to draw on, and obviously might have his attentions turned by somebody else at the moment. So I think it'll be very, very. But you know, Prod definitely has a point to prove 100%. I know there's a fire lit under Prodigy at the moment with Parr and the new breed. We might get our first Fallout time limit draw.
Mm-hmm.
I might try that
That'd be
as a
fine.
wild card prediction. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it. I'll put that in as a wild card prediction. Yeah, time limit draw, first one.
Yeah, I don't want the first time limit draw to come as a result of like a double no-show or something. So it'd be good to have it'd be good to have a nice tie.
Oh, we wouldn't if double no show, we wouldn't waste 20 minutes of match writing.
I
They'd
guess.
get a double
Yeah.
DQ.
It depends who it was. If it was
Yeah.
like Stu Grimes of the MBH, I might do a 20-minute. Man, who are you having?
I think, obviously Conchu is a tough opponent. I mean, not all of us can be 2-0 against him, but I think Conchu will get it.
He's only just joining the main event, man. So us three haven't faced him yet. So
you have, mate. We teamed up and beat him. Fuck you.
Tag matches don't count. Oh, sorry.
Tag matches do count.
All right. Okay.
No, I think I'm. Obviously, we've seen kind of what this quest for the world titles meant to Conchu, and obviously with it going away, I'm interested. I'm expecting something absolutely mad from him. So I'm thinking Conchu will get it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Parr did as well, because I think Parr he might have been holding back a bit due to the whole jobber thing.
Yeah.
So I want to say he's got something more in his locker.
Yeah, I'd probably agree there. Sticking with you, man, for Black versus Rondo.
I see. I think I'm going to go with Black, only because I think Raw would be more motivated in the same way that I was against Rondo. I wanted to win against Rondo, and I wanted a win against Shake. So I'm thinking for the same reason that that Raw will be able to pull something out there.
Okay, John.
I've got Aleister Black. I think if Shake decides to have some fun with Ryan Rondo and do something, I don't know, different than he has before to join the fantasy parade, it would be insane because Shake's an insane writer. But Aleister Black is also my favorite on the roster, so I want him to beat Ryan Rondo.
I think it's important to remember that me and Shake wrote 40,000 words, like, on a fucking mystical Japanese island, like ending in a fight on a lake.
People.
Like Shake's nuts deep in the fantasy world, mate. Like he's, he could drop a 38 at like a drop of the hat, I'm sure, if he spent a couple of days on a promo. But it just depends whether he's gonna do that. Yeah, but I'm going to go for Rondo this week. I think he's going to want a win after defeats Peacock. So yeah, I reckon Rondo's going to show up and take Black down. Tig, where are you going? Oh, no, he's going away from this call.
No.
Rondo. Doesn't even need to think.
No, there's no need to think.
All right, okay. Stick you, Tig, for El Demente against Big Stu Grimes.
Still. I'm gonna go with Stu. Yeah, I thought his post-match promo was incredible this week. I know it was only small, but I thought you just hit the character work really, really well. And I think having a good grasp on things like that is so important in the gauntlet matches. So I'm gonna just eke it to Stu.
Okay. I'm gonna give it to Stu as well. I think Stu Grimes. John?
If we get an origin story from Stu Grimes, I'll give it to Stu Grimes. I think origin stories are going to win it.
Man, we getting a clean sweep for Grimes?
No, fuck that, El Demente.
No. I picked Peacock this week as well. This is the return. UA against the Alchemist. So the Alchemist, we get a promo from Jiggy for his Ground Zero character. It'll probably be like an intro promo, I guess. So Undisputed Alliance might have more chemistry. I'll go with the UA this week. I think they'll continue their tag team run. John?
I'm going to go for the Alchemist anime reference. They're winning. Maybe the Undisputed Alliance gets DQ'd or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Tig?
Yeah. TUA, I said earlier, I like their tag promos. Obviously, Jiggy is Jiggy, but like you said, it's likely to probably just be an intro promo, and I think TUA will outscore them.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go UA as well. I'm excited to see what Jiggy does. But I think, the kind of chemistry and the familiarity between the UA members will be enough. And that could be partly why Savage felt a bit shorter, I think, because I think that promo they did would have been a very good TUA promo. But when you're looking at Savage on his own, I think that's partly where it didn't score as highly, I'd say. So I think, TUA will get this one.
Okay. Uncle against Caden. It's got to be Uncle. He's usually first or second on my grades. I think he has been for all 4 of the fallouts, maybe, with the exception of the Sourceman week. Uncle. John?
Uncle, yeah. I'm gonna hold the title for 500 days apparently.
Okay, how long did Kaizen have it for? He's the record, right? Is Kaizen still the record?
No, Sully's the record, isn't he?
Okay.
Yeah, I think Sully.
Right. Was Kaizen ever the record?
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah,
He broke
he
the record,
was.
and then he lost it.
Okay. Tig?
Yeah, I think Uncle's the strongest rider in the Fed at the moment. Including everybody, would have my highest scoring promos of since CC, I'd say. I don't think I'll ever not back Uncle unless it's a perfect storm.
Wow.
So yeah, gonna go Uncle.
Storm coming, Valentine's Day 2022. Epicenter, whatever corner of Canada you live in. That's forecast. Summers v Crash. It's difficult on this. Crash has been doing well in tag team matches, not so much in singles matches recently. I think he'll know that as well and want to bounce back perhaps this week. So I'm going to go for Crash in this one. John?
I think it's a really tough match. Like, those 2 characters work so well against each other. I'm gonna give it to Crash. I think he needs a big win. John Summers has a good tournament run, but he's got Mike Parr waiting for him. If Sean Summers decides to focus on Crash the whole promo though, and doesn't split his focus too much, I think he could take it.
Tig?
I think I'm going to. It's a very tough match to call. Like it depends what Crash we get. I'm going to. If I was going to put money on it, I'd go with Summers based on recent form.
Yeah, I can see the argument there. And Man?
I think similar reasons I went with Conchu. I think I'm going to go with Summers as well. I want to see the rebound of missing out on the tournament and how he will kind of balance that with Crash, and then whether how much of it is dedicated to Parr as well.
Yeah. Right, I'm glad you kept that short, man, because no offense to Summers and Crash, the next match is the match we are all waiting for, the big one, Sourceman versus Josh Drake. Promo's already in, actually, for this one.
I've not read Sourceman yet.
I haven't had a chance to read Sourceman either.
And we've graded Josh Drake.
Well, I'm glad he showed. I didn't know how that was going to go, so I'm glad he showed. That's a start. But yeah, it's I think Sourceman's going to win this. By the looks of these, and then Danny Toner against Randy Ramon in the Fallout Contender Eliminator Final, the 15th and final match in the 5-show spanning tournament. Man, who have you got in this Clash of Titans?
Oh, it's funny because, and this will sound a bit weird, but if I was fantasy booking that tournament, this is what the final would have been.
I don't know though. Like I was thinking earlier that I was thinking that might come up. This might be like the fantasy booking final,
But the thing is, I don't think any argument could be made that neither deserve their spot. And I mean, I think I've even told Sean I went with Grayson in his quarterfinal match.
No, I wasn't suggesting that. I was just thinking like if I was fantasy booking it, I might have had Conchu or Summers in here. Like there's a bit of new blood in there rather than having Toner Ramon.
To go back to where I think it will go. I think it will be very close. I think Ramon.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I agree that no argument could be made, really, that these two deserve to get in the final. I'm going to go for Toner, just based on consistency over the 3 promos so far. Both have been consistent, very good, but I think I've had Toner edging in week 1 and 3, and then round 1 and 3, and then ahead of the pack in round 2, between these two. But yeah, John.
I've got Danny Toner. I think the best streak right now since back in business. So he has to deliver in the final round, and I think the reaction if he does would be pretty insane. Ramon has the tag titles going for him. I think it won't be as big of a reaction, although it would be very interesting to see Ramon versus Chris Kennedy.
Yeah, I agree.
Versus Chris Kennedy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Oh,
The bittersweet versus remakes.
Yeah, it'd be a
Whole
wonderful
match is just them super kicking each other's feet.
Well, that's the kind of treatment that I get from the panelists on this podcast.
I have your back, man.
Cheers, MVH Stoner, Fallout 007. Tune in, and Caden Knox defending his X Division title. Okay. All right, so that's about all for the Fallout 004 pod review, whatever it is. Thank you for joining us, Mad and Dig and John. Yeah, that was fun. I'll sign off there, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for episode 005.
Sweet. Peace. Thanks for having me.